Update: am I the butthole for not letting my boyfriend name our daughter Renesmae? First off thank you all for the overwhelming response to my previous post. I'm sorry I couldn't get back to every message individually, but I appreciate every one of you. Secondly, my boyfriend came home last night and I sat him down and was extremely firm about why I didn't like Renesmae or Twilight in general and suggest we find a name we both like, otherwise I'll pick the one I like and it'll be final. Few hours of discussion getting nowhere, and I went to bed and watched my girl and himself followed me in. Pretty much the second he heard Vada's name he fell in love with it. I've loved the name since the first time I ever saw the movie. So we've settled on Vada, and I have him warned if he pulls a sneaky one on me he'll be the one paying for a name change while paying for his own place to live. So that's that, drama resolved really. Edit: the name Veda is a girl's name of Sanskrit origin meaning knowledge. A name with religious resonance, as the Vedas are the most sacred texts of Hinduism. Similar names on the rise are Veera and Vada. The name Vada means famous ruler and is of German origin. Vada is a name that's been used primarily by parents who are considering baby names for girls. Vada. Meaning of the name Veda. Variant of Vada, lovely as a flower, but strong-willed. Origin of the name Veda: 3 spellings, all pronounced the same. All real names that already exist. I'm not trying to make it unique, I'm trying to decide what's easiest for her to spell and for the people in her life to pronounce. Edit 2, F everyone who thinks I'll be a bad parent based off 2 small pieces of my life you read, web link. Nice update. Seems like he just needs to hear an unusual name from a movie and he loves it. Wait until he hears you don't have to name your kid after a film character, mind blown. What is this? Son, don't you dare complain about naming children after movie characters. You were named after the greatest character of all time, Chad, as played by Tom Green in Charlie's Angels. Given the chronology of events and causality, I'd argue that his character was named after me. Such a Chad thing to say. That might actually be worse. At least they didn't name their kid, that Twilight girl. Lol, my father told me he was drink when he registered my birth, hence why I've got a weird spelling. I'm over 40 and it's the first time I've been told that. That being said, my name is not from a movie. My husband wanted Daenerys if we had a girl. It wouldn't have happened anyway, but I just can't do a character where I don't see the full character progression. My 10-year-old has a friend called Khaleesi. I had a hard time not laughing when I met her parents. I get so irrationally annoyed at people naming their kids Khaleesi because that's not even her name. Her name is Daenerys because I am a pedantic nerd, lol. I can't mock people for using asocial/got names though, because I would probably use Brienne as a name if I had a daughter. Laughing out loud. Yeah, but people also name their kids princess, queen, prince, etc., names that are also titles. Which, to be honest, I think Khaleesi sounds better than a lot of these. Brienne is better than Khaleesi or Daenerys though. I've always liked that name, and Lyanna. Arya is definitely my favorite got name though. I worked with a woman who had her first kid a year ago which she named Arya. But she gets so pissed off when people think it's from ASO/got, and she corrects people that it's after the character in The Walking Dead. I admit I effed with her once and said, oh, Arya is a pretty name, it's just like the elf from the Aragon books. To be fair, princess, queen, prince, etc. are all terrible names. Brienne is an Irish name, so not unusual at all. Brienne is not an Irish name, and would be very unusual. Anyone named that in Ireland would be solely because of GOT source am Irish. Edit: I searched this site for any instances of the name Brienne, not once did it come up. They don't record names of less than 3 for privacy reasons. Web link. Brienne is a variant on Brienne, is Gaelic/Celtic, and is too old to confirm where exactly it's from, but seeing as both names are a female version of Brian, it's safe to say it's either of Irish or Breton. I actually know 2 Brienne in their 40s and 50s, so no. I don't want to discount your experiences or anything, but it's a version of Brianna. Web link. I almost think Khaleesi is better than Daenerys? Like they're naming her queen, not after a character who goes banana pancakes in the span of 2 episodes. Khaleesi isn't better or worse than Daenerys. They don't need to use the first name, a title is still okay. Catholics used to have to name their kids after saints, at least to be baptized under it. Oh yeah, my aunt's name is Catherine because my grandma wanted to name her Kathy and the church wouldn't let her do that. She's gone by Kathy her entire life, so I don't think the church did anything. But how do you get new saints? I feel like there's a yearly quota, based on how many there are. This is why so many Catholic women have a middle name of Mary or Anne. Where I live, a lot of men too. Maria seems to be especially common, as a middle name that is. It's not yearly quota, but Catholics have been around for nearly 2,000 years, so you get a lot. There's actually a lengthy process to make new ones, still in use today. The devil's advocate is actually part of this process, as it is the role of someone that must argue against a person being made saint. About the only good thing about that custom was it barred stuff like Renesmae and AITA. It's the law in Iceland. Web link. He's 18, I'm not really surprised that he's immature and easily swayed. Well, what the F am I supposed to do with my sons, Soda Pop and Pony Boy, now? When I got pregnant, everyone kept suggesting names to me from fandoms I love. I had to keep shooting people down, and no one understood that I just didn't want to name my daughter after a character. What if she hated whatever book/movie/video game I ended up naming her after? It was one thing to name my dog Bellatrix Lestrange, I didn't want to saddle my daughter with my fandom. So, we chose Charlotte because we just like the name, and now I can't convince people she isn't named after Charlotte from Charlotte's Web. Which is bizarre, because I can't stand that book and movie. Seriously? Charlotte, one of the top 10 girls' names in the world right now, and people automatically assume it's after Charlotte's Web? That's what pets are for. My rabbit was Charlie, for Lost, and my dogs are Sky, for Luke/Anakin/Rey Skywalker, and Summer, for Buffy Summers. I would never subject a small child to a name that is obviously after a fictional character. Maybe if it was a regular name like Luke or slightly uncommon like River, but only if my partner lived the name too. That's why I named my kid CGI in chroma color. And don't let him watch Mildred Pierce. I know a woman who named all her kids after her favorite Disney princesses, and if she ever had a boy, was planning on naming him after a Disney prince. I mean, the people are called like Adam, Eric, Eugene/Flynn, Christoph, and Philip. Those aren't bad names for a son, in my opinion. Can be a fun little tidbit. It isn't that they're bad names at all. Frankly, I wouldn't think twice if someone said, "I'm naming my baby Flynn." I just love that name. The part I question is when she said, "If the baby's a girl, I'm going to name her Jasmine because she's my favorite Disney princess, and if it's a boy, I'm going to name him Eric because he's my favorite Disney prince." And she has done this for at least 4 children. Now I'm wondering how many times he's going to make permanent decisions from split-second feelings. I mean, he's 18, so probably a lot. Jesus Christ, I pray for Op. Now she just needs to keep him from all movies with unique names until the baby is born. Good thing the movie in question wasn't Total Recall. Imagine your first name being Three-Boobed Callgirl. It's great that things happen to work out in this case, but it seems like you people lucked out in averting disaster as opposed to overcoming a real problem in your relationship. You are still about to have a child between you, and it might be a good idea to get yourselves into family or couples therapy before the kid gets here. Exactly this. You sound like a pair of kids yourselves, and now you're going to be responsible for bringing one up. The name is the least of the stress. They are 18. It is totally to be expected they are acting like kids. And that doesn't change the fact that it's a bad thing, and they're just kids stops being a reasonable excuse when you have a kid. Dentists need soft drinks like therapists need kids having kids. Yeah, but they're about to have a kid. That expression isn't excusable when the kids are having kids. Maybe, but my husband, at age 33, will often impulsively argue if he feels I'm criticizing him, and then we both get entrenched and it's hard to back down. I've learned I have to just walk away and give him time to process. Arguing about something, walking away, and revisiting the conversation from a new perspective can be a great way to work through relationship problems. It might be what happened for original poster too. That's what my boyfriend and me do too. If we're getting too heated or upset, one of us goes to another room to calm down and the other will periodically check if it's time to talk. When the other person calms down, we talk. If one of us starts getting angry again, normally me lol, we say, "Hey, hold on, I just need a second, I'm getting overwhelmed," and we take a few breaths and continue when ready. It's helped even before the disagreement turns into an argument. A few deep breaths and a simple "hold on, I need a moment. I'm too upset to talk." Makes life so much easier. Yeah, taking that moment to take care of yourself is crucial. We are so ready to jump into this stupid little kid and not. Are too dynamic at times. I blame my husband, but realistically it takes two to play that game. It's so annoying, but once you're both aware of these things, there is at least hope of moving past them. Could it be he's lying in an attempt to save face? He realized the name was a terrible choice but couldn't admit it, so he made up an excuse to switch. Seriously. Otherwise I'll pick the one I like and it'll be final. It sounds like it's only by sheer luck a successful agreement was reached here. They're going to need to learn to make choices together instead of engaging in a perpetual battle of wills. Amen, girl. I also believe that even if you think nothing is wrong with your relationship, therapy is never a bad idea between most people. Congrats. But wasn't the character named Vada? Yep. I was going to mention it but didn't want to cause another name fight for the original poster and her partner. Laughing out loud. Weirdly, original poster also misspelled the name from Twilight in both this post and the last one. It seems a little odd that they're consistently hearing these unusual names and just guessing at the spelling. It's because the posts are fake. Last post she spoke about knowing numerous kids named Renesmae already in Ireland, and literally none have been born there. Under any spelling. Funnily enough, Veda is a type of malted bread unique to the north of Ireland. I know it is also a name in Indian cultures, but as a Belfast girl, it will forever be the best damn toast you'll ever eat and the one thing that could make me set foot in Northern Ireland again. So not a great girl's name in Ireland. Renesmae would actually go down better. Thank God, someone else pointed this out. It's so hard to both explain and procure when you're living away. Malt what? As long as original poster doesn't take the kid on holiday to the north, I'm sure it'll be grand. What is she on? Haha, I'm in Ireland and literally know no one who's called that or named a kid that. Like Jesus, she should have picked a better lie, haha. She also said she knew several pretty cool Kylos named after Kylo Ren. Also, 0 Kylos registered in Ireland. I know pointing out Am I the Butthole stories are fake isn't in vogue, but like, this one is such a weird thing to lie about. Disney bought Star Wars in 2012, so any kid named Kylo after Kylo Ren would be, at a maximum, 9 years old. I'm pretty sure they didn't announce character names until like 2013 or something anyways. So yeah, this whole post seems like bullcrap. I knew a kid whose middle name was Singin. Apparently, his parents heard the name St. John but never bothered to check its spelling. The internet says that the name Sinjin exists, and is a deliberate reference to St. John. Damn, you completely discredited them. Haha, well, if you want I can discredit myself too. The only reason that I knew the name Sinjin, already existed was because of my embarrassing 90-day fiancé habit. There's a dude on that show with that name. You and me both. 90 fiancé is a secret pleasure of mine. Laughing out loud. It's all COVID's fault. I went from a normal, functioning human being to an inescapable nightmare life filled with 18 terrible spin-offs. There's a character in Jane Eyre named St. John and I didn't know it was pronounced Sinjin until well after I had read it, when I finally saw a movie version. It was an interesting revelation for me. The Twilight character's name is also spelled Renesmae. I think original poster just has trouble spelling names. They also changed the spelling of Renesmae. Not sure if it was on purpose or just unaware of the original spelling, original as in, compared to the sources of Twilight and My Girl, but I think everyone would agree Vada is better than Renesmae. Also I looked it up to see the spelling, it's Vada, and WTF, how did I not realize Thomas J. was Macaulay Culkin? Mind blown. The way original poster spelled it, I would think the name would be pronounced Vita, with an E like in Belvita. Not sure if they're misspelling it, or if they want to be those kind of interesting people. See how interesting I am spelling my kid's name differently. Judging by their ages and the fact that they insist on naming the child after a movie character, I would put my money on the latter. See, I'm the opposite. I see Veda and I think Veda. I see Vada and I think Va. Duh, like the A at the beginning of apple. Like Ada but Vada. I wouldn't think of Veda like Veda unless it was spelled that way, Veda. Edited to point out that Veda, pronounced Veda, is a Sanskrit name that means knowledge. I prefer the spelling Veda over Vada in general, but this solidifies it. Vada is an Indian snack food. Web link. And the Vedas are Indian texts. The, also Indian, name Veda means wisdom. In the Veda-Vada debate, I'd go with Veda for a name. Yeah, she spelled the name wrong, it is Vada. I know someone named Veda. It's pronounced the same way. I strongly doubt that there are hard rules. I mean, if you lived in a Spanish-speaking country, or in Japan or in Finland, or many other countries, Veda and Vada would definitively be pronounced differently, as other languages pronounce things the way they're written and have set sounds for different letters. English is weird in that you can't really know how a word is pronounced for sure unless you say it aloud, so the pronunciation of a name ends up being more of a personal preference thing. Also, I'd assume original poster does not want to accidentally misspell her daughter's name, whichever she chooses. Veda is a legit name, so not sure it's a misspelling, woman shrugging. Original post, I personally hate it and would much rather that we don't name our baby after a fictional character. Proceeds to name baby after a fictional character. I'm assuming Veda is a real name owned by women outside this film. Anyone named Renesmae is unquestionably named after a fictional character. There's a difference between naming a kid after a fictional character and hearing a name in fiction and liking it. I wonder why they also couldn't just name their kid Renee or Esme, as Renesmae is just two characters from Twilight names jammed together, and they are also names that existed outside of fiction before Twilight was a thing, woman shrugging. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.